Hi.
How are you?
Good. Are you at the office?
Yes.
Oh, good. Anyone else there?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm by myself.
Okay. Let's see. Well, at least I have 3 of you right now, which is great. Looks like we're good here. Just move this from the screen. Thank you for coming to Wednesday's yoga class. I just want to let you know that I will be here tomorrow, but next week I won't be back again until Thursday, and I'm going to teach a class on Friday next week. So next week I will be here only on Thursday and Friday from 11:15 to 11:45. So next week, just 2 30-minute classes, but Linda will send out an email to let you guys all know. All right, so join me in easy seat, either sitting on the floor, a block, or a folded blanket. Close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Rest one hand on the chest, and the other hand rest on your abdomen. And aware of your breath. Notice the chest rise and fall with the breath. Feel your belly inflate and deflate with the breath. Lower your hands to the knees. Palms are turned down. Inhale, you can lengthen the spine. Exhale, open the eyes if they're closed. Hinge forward from the hips. Walk your hands out. Let your head hang or rest your forehead on the floor. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Walk your hands in and sitting up tall. Raise the right arm overhead, reach through the fingertips of the right hand. Rotate your chest upward. You're looking to your right and guiding your right sit bone further to the floor. Inhale, center, and exhale. Let's turn to our right, left hand outside of the right knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twisting from the waist. And push away with the back hand. Come to center. This time your left arm reaches overhead. You can turn your chest up and gaze upward to the ceiling. Remember, the left sit bone is glued into the ground, just like the right. Inhale, center, and exhale, twisting to the left with the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Each inhalation, you can lengthen the spine, and each exhalation, twist from the waist. And we're going to push off the back hand as we come to center again and bring the opposite leg in front. Close your eyes with me. Place the fingertips on the ground behind you. Roll your shoulders back, opening through the chest, staying either on the fingers or pushing the entire palm into the ground. You'd like to open the chest wider and your palm meet the floor. Walk your hands closer together until the sides of the pinky fingers touch. Use the Ujjayi breath if you haven't started already, taking deep inhalations through your nose with even longer exhalations out through the nostrils, controlling the flow of the breath by squeezing the air down the windpipe and back out again. Just think about creating the ka sound in the back of the throat, just like you would with a mirror or a window on a cold day. And with the next exhalation, opening the eyes, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in front of heart center and extend your arms off to the sides. Right hand slides out, left arm reaches overhead, and left sit bone, you're guiding closer to the floor, but being gentle with the body. Gaze is upward. And we'll push through the bottom hand as we come to our center. Left hand slides out, right arm reaches overhead. Rotate your chest upward. And then pressing through the lower hand, you can come to your center. Inhale, arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. We're going to continue this movement with the breath, with the Ujjayi breath. Feel how each inhalation takes your arms up, and each exhalation lowers the hands in front of heart center. We'll go around one final time. So take your time to complete the next revolution. And when the exhale is finished and the hands are in front of heart center, then lower the hands to the knees with the palms turned down. Take your time, no rush, complete the full breath. When you're ready, open the eyes and exhale, hinge forward from the hips, walk the hands out, let your head hang or rest the forehead on the floor. Inhale, lifting the head and chest, walk the hands in, and we'll sit up tall. This time we're going to come onto all fours. Position the knees under the hips, hip width apart, wrists under shoulders. Spread the fingers. Reach back through the right leg and push into the ball of the right foot. Inhale, bring the right heel in line with your hip and extend the left arm straight out in front, sending lines of energy forward through the fingertips of the left hand and back through the right heel. You can stay here or go further into the posture if you want by bending the right knee and holding onto the ankle with the left hand. Continuing to listen for the sound of your Ujjayi breath. Controlling the breath with long inhalations through the nose, longer exhalations out through the nostrils. Exhale, hand and knee come back to the floor. Reach back through the left leg and push into the ball of the left foot. Inhale, heel in line with the hip, right arm extend forward. So just like before, shooting lines of energy out through the fingertips of the right hand and back through the heel of the left foot. Caution to bend the left knee and hold on to the ankle with the right hand. Return hand and knee to the floor. Lower the sit bones onto the heels and come into Balasana or Child's Pose, taking the arms out in front, Rest the forehead on the ground or a block or a stacked fist if you want to modify the position. As you inhale, you can lift your head and chest, pushing up to all fours. Separate the knees, hip width apart, and we're going to do our cat cows next, working with the breath. Inhale, lift the chest, look up, point the tailbone to the ceiling, and press the navel to the floor. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, pull the navel up to the spine, hollowing out the belly, dropping the head, bringing the chin to the chest. Continue with your Ujjayi breath. Inhale to pull the arms, pull the chest through the arms and up. And exhale to round the back. We'll do one last cat cow here. Continuing to exaggerate the posture as much as possible, arching and rounding the back as much as you can. And then when you're finished with the exhale, bring your spine to neutral, and we'll go right back to Balasana, or child's pose, with the sit bones on the heels, arms out in front, forehead on block, stacked fists, or forehead resting on the ground. With the inhalation, we'll lift our head and chest, coming up to all fours. Separate your knees, hip width apart again. We're getting ready for downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, bring the weight to the heels. This is Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog. Your toes face forward and sides of the feet are parallel to the wide edges of the mat. Continue with the Ujjayi breath. Using it throughout this class. Bending the knees, look in between the thumbs. Walk or step your feet forward. Point the top of the head to the ground. As you bend both knees, inhale to take the arms up and bring your hands together. Lift the chest. Exhale, reaching back for your upward salute. Your gaze is to the thumbs. Inhale, center. Exhale as you hinge forward from the hips. Point the top of the head to the ground. Inhale, lengthening the spine for Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold in half. You can bend the knees as the palms are on the mat and step to plank. Looking outward, preparing for Chaturanga, elbows turn to the hips. Exhale to Chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart and chest, your gaze is up. And exhale, bend the elbows, pushing off the floor. Curling the toes under and lifting the hips for a downward facing dog. And we'll bend our knees, look in between the hands, walk or step your feet forward. Bend the knees, inhale, arms overhead, palms together, lift the chest. Exhale to Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, turn the top of the head to the floor. Inhale as you lengthen through the spine and look outward. Exhale, fold in half. You can bend your knees with me and palm the ground. Step back to plank. Shoulders are forward over wrists. Gaze is out in front. Squeeze the arms to the sides of the torso. Use the inhalation to pull the chest through the arms and up. Gazing upward. engaging the muscles of your legs. And then bend the elbows, push off the ground, curl the toes under, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Bending the knees, look in between the thumbs, walk or step your feet forward. Bend the knees again. Inhale, arms come up, palms together, lift the chest. Exhale, upward salute. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips, back to Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening the spine for Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold in half. You can bend your knees, palms on the ground. We'll step back into our plank, looking out in front. Squeeze the upper arms to the sides of the torso as you exhale for Chaturanga. And then inhale for the upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, bend the elbows, pressing all the way back to a downward facing dog. Deep inhalations, longer exhalations. Sink the left heel to the floor, pull the right knee to the chest. Option to keep the right leg here or extend your right leg straight up to the ceiling. Keep your hips turned down to the ground for the moment. Then we're going to bend our right knee, open at the hips. So you're pointing your right knee to the ceiling and bringing your right heel to the left hip. Your chest is still turned down to the ground. So everything below the navel line, rotating upward. Everything above the navel line, turn down to the ground. Bring the right knee to the chest. Drop the right knee in between the hands. Top of the left foot comes on the ground. You can stay on the palms or fingertips. And we're in Kapotasana. Start to inch your left leg further down the mat. Guide the right hip back so the left hip turns forward. Feel free to use a prop here, like a folded blanket or a block to rest your, to support the right hip if it's uncomfortable. Inhale, lengthen the spine, gazing up. And as you exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Walk your hands out, rest your forehead on the floor, or if you want, you could rest your forehead on a block to modify the posture. If you don't have a block, you can still modify the pose, placing one fist on top of the other and resting your forehead there. So do whichever feels good for you. Continuing with the Ujjayi breath, making sure that your hips are level. If you're rolling a little towards the right hip, just center them so both hips are evenly pressed into the ground. You can always slide your left leg further down the mat if you'd like. Inhale, lifting the head and chest, walk the hands in so they frame the right knee, curl the toes of the left foot under, slide the right leg back to meet it, and then lift your hips for downward facing dog. Feet still separated, hip width apart. We're getting ready for three-legged dog pose. Sink the right heel to the floor, bring the left knee to the chest. Option is to keep it here, or extend the left leg straight up and bring the left heel towards the head right now and the chest towards the knees. Bend the left knee, point the left knee up to the ceiling, now turning out at the hip. So this time with a turn out at the hip, your left heel is coming to the outside of the right hip. And just like before, it's kind of a twist. Everything above navel line turned down to the ground, everything below the belly button rotating upward to the sky. Pulling the left knee into the body, drop the left knee in between the hands, and notice how we're gonna put the right foot on the ground and slide that right leg further down the mat. Feel free to make use of a folded blanket or block if you used it on the right side. This time it would go under your left hip. Your choice if you're on the fingertips or palms. Inhale, lengthen the spine, looking upward. And exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Your choice to have the arms extended with the forehead on the ground, a block as a modified version, or stacked fists to rest the forehead on as a modification. Keeping both hips level, you may be or may not slightly rolling towards the left hip. If you think that you are, just center the hips and press them evenly to the floor. Then you can always slide. See what I'm doing now? I'm going to slide my right leg further down the mat. Inhale, you lift your head and chest. Walk the hands and curl the toes of the right foot under. Left leg slides back to meet it. And we're in our downward facing dog again. Pressing the chest to the knees. Using the Ujjayi breath, keeping the mind with the breath. As you bend the knees, look in between the thumbs and walk or step the feet forward. Bend both knees. Inhale, arms come up, palms come together. Lift the chest and exhale for an upward salute. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. Release your arms, turn your palms out, relax your shoulders. So standing at the short edge of the mat, if you're not already there, join me with the palms in front of heart center. We're going to do another upward salute or Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, arms up, palms pressed together, lift the chest, and exhale. Gaze is to the thumbs and chin turned up to the ceiling. Inhale, center. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Feet as close together as possible, sides of the knees touching. Pull your navel in and up so you have a slight tuck to the tailbone. And exhale as you drop the seat. We'll go into our warrior two with the right foot in front. Big step back onto the left. Your choice if you want to keep your base where it is or widen the base by inching the front right foot forward. Bring your arms out to opposite sides and stack your shoulders over the hips. Turn your head, look out over the middle finger of the right hand, relaxing the shoulders. Remember, you can always go deeper into the posture by dropping the hips. So you get the front thigh parallel with the floor. Mine isn't there yet, you can see. But if you do want to do that and you're dropping the hips, just make sure you can see that right big toe. If not, widen the base a little bit more. We'll go to Utthita Parsvakonasana next. Extended side angle. Your right forearm is going to rest lightly on the right thigh. You're not dropping your entire weight of the torso into the leg. Reach out through the fingertips of the left hand. Turn your chest upward and look up to the left. Round through the left heel. Back to your warrior two. Release the arms. You're going to straighten the front leg today. We're going to go to a plank pose from here. And then lift the hips, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look in between the thumbs, walk or step your feet forward. We're going to bend our knees using the inhalation to take the arms up. Palms come together, lift the chest and exhale, reach back for Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, center. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Pulling the navel in and up. Slight tuck to the tailbone. And we'll move to a warrior two or Virabhadrasana two. Left foot's in front. Step back to the right. Widen the base as much as you'd like. Making sure you can see your left big toe. Rounding through the back right heel. Head is turned, so you're looking out over the middle finger of your left hand. You can squeeze your shoulder blades back and together, but don't pull the arms back like that. Keep your hands in line with the shoulders. You don't feel challenged here. Just drop the hips, making sure you can still see the left big toe. And we'll move to our extended side angle, Utthita Konasana. Left forearm resting lightly on the front thigh, still grounding in through the back right heel. Gaze is upward. Right upper arm alongside the ear. Back to a warrior two. Release the arms, straighten the front leg. Turn the hips forward. We're going to a plank. And then we'll lift up the hips. Downward facing dog. Coming to plank. Modify the plank so the knees, tops of the feet are on the floor. Elbows turn back to the hips. As you bend the elbows, exhale the chest and belly to the ground. Come onto the chin. Arms alongside the torso. Turn your cheek to one side. Turn your cheek to the other side. Take your arms alongside the ears and legs together. Inhale, lift the chest and legs up off the floor. Continue to use your Ujjayi breath. Each inhalation, you can lift your legs and arms a little, or chest rather, a little higher. And exhale, arms and legs to the floor. Take the arms back alongside the legs and turn your cheek to one side. Turn your cheek to the opposite side. Let's come on to all fours. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, look in between the thumbs. Walk or step your feet together. As you bend both knees, inhale, arms up, hands together, lift the chest, and exhale for upward salute. Inhale to center, exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Legs as close together as possible, sides of the big toes touching, sides of the knees touching. We'll drop our seat. Going to a warrior one. We're going to keep our right foot in front and step back onto the left. And take the arms up. Get your balance here. Your right heel kind of makes a line back of the arch of the left foot. Chest is lifted. Exhale, hands in front of heart center as you straighten the front leg. Take your arms behind the back, either holding onto the right wrist with the thumb and index finger of the left hand, or holding onto the elbows, or pressing the palms together and sliding them in between the shoulder blades for reverse namaste. Roll your shoulders back, open the chest wide. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips, sending your chest out beyond the toes. Squeeze your shoulder blades back and together. Bring the elbows a little closer towards each other. Let's go to a warrior one again. Bend the front knee, release the arms, and take the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of heart center, straighten the front leg, triangle poses next. Slight turn out in the back left heel, push the left hip back, right side of the body in line with the right knee. Bring the left hand over the left shoulder and turn the head to gaze up at the raised left thumb. It's up to you if you want to keep the left arm in the air or bind the raised arm behind the back. If you chose to bind your left arm, the left hand is reaching for the right inner thigh. Release the hand, looking down at the front big toe, bend the front knee, bend the front knee, and then step the back left foot forward. Then both knees, inhale, arms come up, palms come together, lift the chest, and exhale for upward salute. Inhale, center, exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Continue with your Ujjayi breath. We're going to move to warrior one. Left foot is in front. You can step back onto the right, grounding through the back right heel. We'll take it to our warrior one. So the left hip is kind of guided back, so your right hip is turned towards the left knee. Chest is lifted. Your choice if you choose to point the chin to the ceiling and gaze up to the thumbs. Exhale, hands in front of heart center and straighten the front leg. Going to Parsvatanasana. If you held onto the right wrist, this time you're going to hold onto the left wrist with the right thumb and the right index finger encircling the left wrist. Otherwise, hold onto the elbows or push the palms together and slide the hands in between the shoulder blades. Open the chest, rolling the shoulders back. Keep the chest lifted as you exhale and hinge forward from the hips. Send your chest out beyond the toes. Your drishti is forward beyond the short edge of the mat. It's parallel with the short edge of the mat. Squeezing the shoulder blades back and together, trying to bring your elbows together. We'll go to warrior one. Bend the left knee, still grounding through that back right heel. Release the arms. Inhale the arms overhead, palms together. Moving to triangle pose, you can exhale, hands in front of heart center and straighten the front leg. Turn the back right foot out a little bit. Extend your arms out. Press the right hip back. The left side of the body is now traveling in line with the left knee. Gazes up to the raised thumb. Think about turning your chest upward to the ceiling, but still keeping your body in one plane of existence. Your choice to make the bind with the right arm. So if you bound the right arm behind the back, your right hand is reaching for the left inner thigh. release the arm. And you can just step forward into standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Bend both knees, inhale, arms up, palms together, lift the chest, exhale for upward salute. Inhale, center, exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Inhale, lengthen through the spine as you look out in front. Exhale, fold in half. Bend the knees, palms on the ground. Step back to a plank. That means you're going to bring your weight forward so the shoulders are over the wrists. Modify the plank, lowering knees, tops of the feet to the floor. And then pull your sit bones back to the heels and come into Balasana, child's pose. Inhale as you lift your head and chest, coming up to all fours. Drop one hip to the ground, and we'll press the bottoms of the feet up against each other, coming into down angle pose or Baddha Konasana. For this posture, if you feel like your knees are way up here, your back is really rounded, you might want to try sitting on a block or a folded blanket. Just see how it feels. You might be a little bit more comfortable with the hips elevated. Close your eyes. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. And inhale, come to center. Release the hands. Bring your knees together. Slide one leg out, then the other. Roll the legs in and out from the hips. And then we'll just let them rest with the heels at the very short edge of the mat in front and the hands alongside the hips, long spine at first. This is staff pose on Dawson. We're going to then slide our fingertips to the knees, looking down at your belly button. You can roll to the elbows, the shoulder blades, and then let the back of the head rest on the ground. Walk the heels to the sit bones. Lower the small of the back onto the floor. Pull the knees into the chest. This is on Indasana or joyful baby pose. You're going to take the arms in between the legs, so inside the knees, using your index and middle finger. Slide them in between the big and second toe and walk with the thumb. If that's not working out today, try holding onto your ankles. They're both good options. The bottoms of the feet are turned up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, you can pull on the big toes or the ankles to bring the tops of your thighs, your knees, closer to the ground. Listening for that comforting sound of the Ujjayi breath that you're creating by controlling the intake and outtake of air. And release our toes, our feet, lower both feet to the floor, and then slide one leg down the mat, then the other. Roll your legs in and out from the hips and let the legs rest. Walk your heels to the sit bones with both feet firmly planted on the floor. Lower the small of the back to the ground. Cross your right ankle over the left knee and guide the right knee out to the side. Flex the right foot, so you're going to push out through the heel of the right foot, keeping the right ankle straight. Inhale, left foot up off the floor. And it's up to you here. You can hold on to the right shin with both hands. You can thread the needle, taking the right arm in between the legs and interlacing the fingers behind the left thigh or over the front of the left shin. So keep in mind, we're still keeping this left ankle straight, rather than sickling the foot in. We're keeping it straight, so we're protecting our joints and not overstretching the ligaments or tendons of the knee or ankle. As you use the Ujjayi breath, inhale to the area that feels tight, using inhalations to create space, and the exhalations to guide the leg closer to the body. And we're going to release the hands and lower the foot to the floor. Uncross the legs. Before you can extend the legs, you can keep the knee bent because we're just going to take the left ankle over the right knee and guide the left knee out to the side. Flex the left foot. Inhale, right foot up off the floor. You can hold on to the left shin, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh or over the front of the right shin. Left ankle stays straight. Press out through the heel of the left foot. Noticing the difference in range of motion from the right side versus the left side. With each exhalation, gently guide the legs closer towards your chest until eventually you find the side of your left calf resting easily and comfortably on your chest. Release your hands and lower the right foot to the floor. Uncross the legs. This time we're going to slide one leg down the mat and the other. Roll your legs in and out from the hips and let your legs rest. Walk the heels to the sit bones with both feet flat on the ground. Lower the small of the back to the floor. Slide the arms out to the sides, hands in line with the shoulders. Inhale, knees to the chest, and exhale, drop the knees to the right and turn your head looking to the left. This is your reclining twist. We're going to keep our left shoulder blade pressed into the floor. And it's your choice. You can keep both arms extended, both hands on the floor, or take your right hand and rest it lightly on the side of the left thigh to gently guide the legs a little closer to the ground. If you choose to go further, you can pull the knees up to the right elbow and extend the top left leg out with the right hand reaching for the left heel. Still keep the left shoulder blade flush with the floor. Might not be there today. We're just working on keeping both shoulder blades equally flush with the floor. Bring the head to center, bending the knees, palms on the ground. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, lower the knees to the left. You're turning your head as you look towards your right. Your decision if you want to rest the left hand on the side of the right thigh and gently guide the legs towards the ground. Be sure you're not pulling on your knee. If you want to go further, bring the knees up towards the left elbow and extend the top right leg out, holding onto the right heel. And then you can bring the left knee upwards so the right knee can rest on top of the left knee. Or the knees are stacked on top of each other. Keep guiding the lower half of your right shoulder blade further into the ground. Return the head to center, both palms on the ground, both knees bent. Inhale, knees to the chest. Interlace the fingers over the front of the shins and roll forward, back, side to side. Your choice if you want to pick up the head and shoulders, just rolling over the lower back and giving your kidneys a gentle massage. Returning to center, release shoulders and head to the ground if you lifted them. Release your hands and feet to the floor. And we'll move into Shavasana next. Slide one leg down the mat, then the other. Roll the legs in and out from the hips, then let them rest. Feel free to turn the lights off in the room if that makes you more comfortable. You can place a folded blanket or a small cushion or pillow under the head. Or you can have your head rest on the floor if that's comfortable. Feel free to place a blanket over the body. And then when you're ready, separate your legs so the heels are at opposite corner edges of the mat or wider. Slide the arms away from the sides of the torso and turn your palms upward to the ceiling. Take a cleansing inhalation, exhaling out through the nostrils, so pulling fresh air deep into the body, releasing the stale air back out through the nostrils. Bring your focus to your feet and wiggle your toes. Rest the feet. Move to your hands, wiggle the fingers. Open wide through the palms, stretching all the way out through your fingertips. Curling the fingers in as you make a soft fist. Pump it a few times and let go. Let the hands open again. Bring your focus back to the feet. Visualize the healing energy. You can take any form which you choose. Just let the energy travel into the big toes. Becoming aware of the big toes. Nothing else. Then move the healing energy to the second toe. Just noticing the second toe. At your own pace, let the energy travel on to the next toe and the next until eventually it reaches the smallest toe. Notice the spaces in between each of the toes. Let the healing energy slide down the backs of the toes and wash through the soles of the feet. Feel the energy massaging the bottoms of the feet, rubbing away any cramping or fatigue that might exist in the foot. Move the energy upward through the tops of the feet, into the ankles. Feel the healing energy swirling around the outsides of the ankles. Notice the natural turnout of the ankles in Shavasana. Move the healing energy up the fronts of the lower legs. Feeling the energy rise up the shins. Then gently wrap around the sides of the lower legs and flow into the calf muscles in the backs of the lower legs. Just letting any tension in the lower half of the legs ease away. Move the healing energy upward into the knees. Invite the healing properties of this energy to repair any damage that may exist to the ligaments and tendons of the knee. And slowly guide the energy up the fronts of the thighs. And as this healing energy moves through the quadriceps, the large muscle group in the fronts of your thighs, consciously relax the quads, feeling them release and let go. Move the healing energy around the sides of the thighs And let the energy flow into the hamstrings and the backs of your thighs. As you feel this healing energy flowing through the hamstrings, allow any tension or any emotions that may have collected in the hamstrings to ease away. Move the energy upward to your hips. Feel the healing energy as it swirls around the outsides of the hips. Allow your hips to unwind and open. Move the energy into the abdominal cavity. Soften the belly. And guide the energy higher. Let it reach up to the center of the chest. And from here, feel it spread out across the chest, just like a warm and pleasant sensation, reaching all the way out to the sides of the rib cage. Allow your chest to untighten. Move the healing energy up to the tops of the shoulders. Relax your shoulders into the floor. Soften the throat and relax the jawline. Let the healing energy flow into the face. Feel the energy spread out across the face, moving all of the facial muscles out to the sides, releasing any lines or creases that might exist in the face. Guide the energy from the forehead into the scalp. Feel the healing energy flowing throughout the scalp like warm water from a shower. Allow the scalp to loosen and slowly guide that energy from the back of the scalp into the back of your neck. As you become aware of the small muscles in the back of the neck, just visualize the muscles within the back of the neck, letting these muscles soften. Just visualize it happening. And slowly guide the healing energy down the spine, letting it spiral in between the spaces of each of the vertebrae that make up your spine until eventually it reaches the base of the spine. Feel the energy radiate out from the center of the spine and flow across the middle of the back. Let it slide down into the lower back and feel it rise up across the shoulder blades. Invite the healing energy to flow freely throughout the entire back, deeply massaging all of the muscles of the back, seeking out any knots that might exist within the muscles of the back and rubbing them away. Let this energy travel up from the shoulder blades, back to the tops of your shoulders. Guide the energy into the forearms. Let the muscles in the guiding the energy into the upper arms, letting the muscles in the upper arms, the biceps, the triceps, the delts just relax. And move the energy into the elbows. Sense of spaciousness in each elbow joint. Let the energy flow through the forearms into the wrist joints. Notice the spaciousness within each wrist joint. And at last, let the energy travel into the hands and collect in the center of the palms. Once you feel that you're holding this healing energy in each hand, send it out to the fingers. Take a moment to notice each finger individually. As you focus on a single finger, notice the knuckle joint within the finger. Sense the spaciousness within the knuckle joint. of the finger. And just take a moment to do this with each finger. When you're ready, let the healing energy exit out through the fingertips, removing with it any toxins or impurities from the body, leaving your entire body cleansed and deeply relaxed, and your mind serene, at peace for this moment, as you've chosen to train your concentration to a single point, which is your own relaxation. Let's take an active inhalation through the nose and even longer exhalation out through the nostrils. I invite you to gently open the eyes, and we'll start to reawaken the body, wiggling the toes, rolling the ankles around, rolling the entire leg in and out from the hips. And let the legs rest, wiggle the fingers, and let the hands rest. Walk the heels to the sit bones. Raise your right arm overhead, roll to your right side. Rest here for a few natural breaths. You don't need to control it. When you feel ready to sit up, press your left palm into the floor and come into Sukhasana, your easy seat or any comfortable cross-legged position. Make your use of any props that you want. You can sit on a folded blanket, a block, or maybe you want to have your back against the wall or even sit in a chair. We'll end with a 1-minute meditation on our Ajna chakra, your third eye located here between the eyebrows and slightly above. At any point, I invite you to close your eyes and relax the shoulders. You can position the hands in several ways, your choice. Palms turned down on the knees, palms opened up to the ceiling. If you want to add a mudra, you can press the index finger and thumb together to aid with concentration, or you can form a beggar's bowl in the center of your lap, right hand inside the left, palms turned upward and thumbs touching. Bring your focus to the third eye. As you focus on this energy point, you'll notice that eventually the mind does move on to other thoughts. Once you realize, gently move the mind back to your original focal point, the third eye. And gently returning the mind to the room. Take an active inhalation through the nose with an even longer exhalation out through the nostrils. Gently reopen the eyes as you gaze softly at the floor in front of you. We'll seal in the benefits of today's yoga practice. Namaste. Thank you guys for coming. I will be back tomorrow, 11:15 to 11:45. But next week, I will be away. So next week, I will be here for Thursday and Friday only. And those classes are from 11:15 to 11:45. So next week, I won't be here for Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And Linda will send a notice if she hasn't already. All right, have a good day. See you
Hi,
next
Denise.
time.
Thank you.
Hi, Denise.
Bye.
Denise, you still have a recorded session, right? Your recorded session will be on YouTube or where is it?
Let me turn up my sound. I can't hear you. Just a sec.
Okay.
Okay, what did you say, Satish?
Your recorded sessions, right? You recording, right? So if you want to, suppose if you're not there and if you want to.
Oh yeah, they are on YouTube, but I have to admit I'm way behind in loading them. There are a lot there, but
Okay.
not like recent ones.
So it's open, right? We can go and click and then it will open, or do we need?
Yeah,
Okay.
just go. And if you have any trouble with it, just let me know. You could always, I think you have my email or you have my LinkedIn account, so you could always let me know that way too.
Okay, so it will be under what? Yoga Destiny, or what is under the, if I want to look for the.
Try
YouTube.
Googling, try looking for Yoga Destiny.
Yoga Destiny, okay.
homepage.
Okay, got it.
Okay, all
Thank you.
right. Okay,
Bye,
bye.
bye.